The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "If your virtue goes no deeper than that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will never get into the kingdom of heaven. You have learned how it was said to our ancestors, 'You must not kill.' And if anyone does kill, he must answer for it before the court. But I say this to you, anyone who is angry with his brother will answer for it before the court. If a man calls his brother fool, he will answer for it before the Sanhedrin. And if a man calls him renegade, he will answer for it in hellfire. So then, if you are bringing your offering to the altar, and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your offering there before the altar. Go and be reconciled with your brother first, and then come back and present your offering. Come to terms with your opponent in good time, while you are still on the way to the court with him. Or he may hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the officer, and you will be thrown into prison. I tell you solemnly, you will not get out till you have paid the last penny." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
As we listen to the first reading from the prophet Ezekiel, and then the Gospel from Matthew, I wonder if we would lift out of both readings any mention of the legal system of the judge, the court, and all of those familiar proceedings, or procedures, I should say. Lift them out and see that what we're left with is my wrongdoing and your wrongdoing and our wrongdoing. And the tribunal is actually the heart of the mercy of God's heart. That's where unforgiveness, dishonesty, untruths or lies, a lack of integrity, deceit, that's the tribunal in which all of these are tried. And God is a just judge, and he gives a second chance to each of us. In the first reading, the prophet Ezekiel reminds us that even the person who has done wrong will have a chance at repaying, at repenting, at starting over. I was amazed many, many years ago when I came upon someone in a diocese who was very afraid of what would happen to him after blowing his second and third chances. I assured him that he should not be worried about the mercy of his boss, because I happen to know that his boss not only gave second chances, he gave fifth and sixth ones as well. He felt relieved. I said, however, that does not mean that you blow the sixth chance. Claim it. Claim the mercy, and let the mercy of God become the weapon, become the surrounding protection against further betrayal of the mercy of your boss. We shouldn't take it for granted, but we should know that when we lose faith in ourselves, when we lose faith in each other, when we feel betrayed by another, it is human to react. But what we're aiming at in our lives is not just the human. That's not enough. We're going above that to the supernatural. And God's mercy overrides even the worst sin. God's mercy waits to be applied, like a good facial cream or a good antibiotic cream. God's mercy longs to welcome back the sinner. My dear brothers and sisters, as we approach the second Sunday of Lent, as we approach the transfigured face of Christ, we are approaching our own willingness to be transfigured with him, to be there on either side with Moses and Elijah, to have the very same beautiful graces available to each of us. If, I say if because it may be a little difficult to imagine, but if you have someone in your life that is hard to forgive, and God tells us through the scriptures, through the sermon, that that person has the same equal chance of forgiveness as we do. Would that stand okay with everybody? Or would we feel at some stage, no, they should not have as much forgiveness. God doesn't know what this person is capable of. If he only knew that, he wouldn't forgive as much. That's the nature of his mercy. It extends beyond the worst. It does. So today, let's do the equality thing. Everyone can receive the free gift of mercy equally. In fact, I believe the larger the sin is the greater the mercy. Why? Stop yourself from saying, they shouldn't get so much. If it was me, I wouldn't give. Well, that's it. God's ways are not our ways. In the messages of divine mercy from Jesus to Saint Faustina, he would say to her, the greater the sinner is the greater right they have to my mercy. I just leave that and let it descend into our souls so that we could become more forgiving as he is forgiving. Let us stand and pray.